So, it's come to this. A correction video already. This sort of thing is bound to happen in a game that's so new, especially when it's not open for testing. While many aspects have been tested by members of the community, and other aspects data mined, not everything has been confirmed to work one way or the other, and there's a lot of mixed information floating around. While I enjoy getting into the numbers of games and documenting how they work, it's difficult to know for certain that something is or isn't working a certain way while the game is unavailable for play, unless I just so happen to test it and confirm it ahead of time. And so, the risk is run of some information being incorrect. There are two ways to mitigate this risk. One is to try and cover all bases by providing the information on how something works in every possible version of its functionality. I tried to do this in the Rage video by mentioning how the defense penalty could function in a variety of ways, and what its practical effect would look like in each scenario. Of course, what I did not expect is for a completely different variable to be incorrect. And so this is where the second method of handling incorrect information comes in: corrections and follow-ups. In the Rage explanation's case, the incorrect variable was actually the strength bonus. At the time of the explanation's creation, the wiki stated that Rage increases strength by 50%. However, since then, it's been discovered that Rage is not a 50% increase, but rather a flat increase of 15. This is a reasonable mistake to make. Someone testing Rage as a default barbarian would see their strength increase by 15 and assume it to be a 50% increase. The in-game description states, greatly increases strength, and most instances of flat strength increases, such as Carnage or Bless, give the exact number of strength. And so, most players would assume upon testing that this is a 50% increase. I didn't personally test it and come to this conclusion, but I'm just trying to think of reasons why the wiki would say this. So what does this mean for Rage's functionality? Not much, actually. After some researching, I'm about 99% sure that Rage's defense penalty is a flat subtraction from your physical damage reduction, and operating under that assumption, we can see how Rage differs when it grants 15 flat strength instead of 50% more strength. Here is our worst case scenario from the end of the original explanation, in which a barbarian with 60 strength and 50% physical damage reduction, both extremely high stats that would require extremely good gear, takes 100 damage, and Rage leaves them with 12 less health. However, with only 15 additional strength, it leaves them with 14 less health instead. Not that big a difference. This is still a 30% increase in damage taken overall, however most of that comes from damage reduction being decreased, not the strength. For reference, if we were to start with 20% damage reduction instead, the damage taken would only be 15% more. So to sum it all up, because of the defense penalty influencing your physical damage reduction, Rage is never profitable above 13% reduction. Its profitability wanes as you increase your strength and damage reduction. Damage reduction is far more impactful when it comes to how much extra damage you take from Rage. When we're using values that are far more typical of a reasonably geared barbarian player, the extra damage taken rarely passes the 10% mark. So to answer the question of if Rage is actually a defensive buff, the answer is no, unless you're running with default or budget gear. As for future explanations and potentially incorrect data, I'm going to only be discussing topics that I know for absolute certain work a certain way, at least until next playtest, where I'm going to be dedicating a lot more time to testing the unknowns.